Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the January 30th episode of the FCAAP Vidcast, your weekly source for news and updates on the world of pediatrics here in Florida. I'm John Horn, Publications and Advertising Coordinator here at FCAAP. Grab your coffee because we've got a great show for you today. Our guest this morning is Amanda Ciadella, FCAAP PCMH Certified Content Expert, who's going to talk a little bit about a new grant opportunity. Amanda, it's so nice to see you this morning.
Thanks, John.
Tell us a bit about what a medical home is.
Absolutely. So a patient-centered medical home is exactly as it sounds. It is keeping the patient within your practice as much as possible. So I'd like to say it's keeping the patient within your four walls. And when they leave your office, providing the customized services so that they're not navigating the healthcare system by themselves. There's a lot of other components that go along with a patient-centered medical home, such as increased access, care coordination, care management services. But at the heart of it, it is keeping the patient in your office as much as possible.
Why is it important for pediatricians to transition to a medical home model?
Really good question. So it's really important for all primary care to embrace a patient-centered medical home concept of care. In Florida, we have a pretty neat program for Florida pediatricians through ACA. It's called MPIP incentives. And for pediatricians that get the NCQA PCMH certificate, they can get increased reimbursements from their managed Medicaids. And there's some stipulations with that. There are different organizations that offer a PCMH certificate. There's the Joint Commission and AAAHC. But NCQA is the most widely known and recognized recognizing entity across the United States. There's also some stipulations when it comes to the managed Medicaid payers and what regions they are in. So some regions will have a little bit of a different requirement, but overall, a majority of the big players in Florida, Sunshine, Simply, they do like the PCMH certificate. So when you actually get the certificate, you can get increased reimbursements. And it goes from your typical Medicaid rates to Medicare rates. And for folks that are familiar with rates, that's a pretty big jump. So again, all primary care, it's really important because it's a concept of care and there's transformation that goes along with it and taking care of your patients in a better manner and being more efficient in your office, having folks work to the top of their license and really help prevent burnout. But there's definitely an incentive component to that in Florida for our pediatricians.
So I hear we have some big news. Tell us about this exciting PCMH transformation grant funded by Sunshine Health.
Yes, it's very exciting. So we've always known that smaller practices have a tough time paying for patient-centered medical home recognition. There's consulting costs that go along with that, and then there's fees to NCQA that go along with it. And for the smaller practices, it can be a barrier for them getting that actual certificate. So at some point last year, we decided we wanted to approach some payers about a grant to offer services to smaller clients. And it was actually picked up, so we're really excited about that. And we're able to offer fully funded projects to a few participants of FCAAP. And this grant from Sunshine, it is really encompassing the entire patient-centered medical home experience. So it's not just getting the certificate, but it's also going to be able to provide some consulting services around EMR optimization, workflow development in your office, staff training. So you really get to go through the entire transformation process. There are a few requirements with the project. To be accepted into the grant. So you have to be an FCAAP member, of course, that's why we're here. You have to have an EMR and you have to be accepting Sunshine patients because the grant is funded through Sunshine.
So a lot of financial barriers being removed, as well as assistance in succeeding in the implementation.
Yes, and that's the goal, is we're not going to do this in a check the box approach where we're just here to get the certificate for you, because that would be great, but we would be doing a disservice to just get the certificate and say, oh, great, you're going to get the incentives. then you're not going to really fly after the fact. We're here to help you do the transformation process and teach you about the concept of care and how to care for these patients. And a lot of these patients are going to be high risk or complex patients. And one of our big goals is to help you put workflows and policies into place in your office to care for those patients in a better manner, to make sure that everybody knows what's going on with those patients and the expectation for treating them. So at the end of the project, you have a more efficient practice. You're able to hopefully see more patients, see some of the types of patients that you might not have been comfortable seeing previously, some of the more complex patients, and then also have a financial benefit from the increased incentives.
Well, it's a really great program for our members, and we're so glad to have you working with us. We really appreciate you taking the time to help everyone learn more about it. Thank you so much, Amanda.
Thank you, John.
And for more information on the new program, be sure and check out this website with all the details shown here. Well, that's going to wrap it for this week's episode of the FCAAP Vidcast. Thanks for joining us. Go have a great week.